Welcome back to the channel. By now, the people have heard that the UK Privy Council has quashed and overturned Vybz Kartel's 2014 murder conviction. And we have heard that the defense attorneys, Vybz Kartel himself, and of course supporters of the incarcerated dancehall superstar are celebrating this as a partial victory. Now people are saying partial victory because the prosecution, while clearly not being happy with the murder conviction being overturned, they have accepted the results, saying that at least they have received the option of a retrial. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hear exactly what's going on and they will contain the reasoning. Look and listen.
Well, ultimately the appeal was allowed, which means that the convictions have been quashed. It isn't best case scenario because there will be a remittance to the Court of Appeal for consideration as to whether or not there should be a retrial. It's not what we wanted wholesomely, but we are grateful that justice was served in that the Privy Council found that there was injustice in respect of the jury tampering issue, and we are happy that that result, that was the result of the Court of Appeal. But we have a challenge ahead of us in respect of the retrial issue, and so that's why you're not seeing me jumping up and down at this time, though we are grateful that the conviction was quashed.
This conviction, which has been worldwide and it's broadcast by media throughout the world, has been quashed. This is as a result of hard work. The reasons for quashing the case in the Privy Council, we argued those very grounds before the Court of Appeal of Jamaica, who turned us away. And therefore, the final Court of Appeal has vindicated and made the efforts that we have made, that we had an arguable case. We were alarmed when the Jamaican Court of Appeal did not take that jury point. And it took another court to say there was a breach of the constitutional rights of Sean Campbell. We are thinking that this is an instructive judgment. It ought not to have had to go to the Privy Council. It should have been stopped by the trial judge. If not, it should have been stopped by the Jamaican Court of Appeal. And therefore, the men who have been convicted for 10 years, and one day today, the 14th of March, they will live again for a retrial consideration. Now, when we go to the Court of Appeal with this matter, the Court of Appeal has to decide whether it is fair after 10 years in prison, rather 12 years in prison, we'd have to get lawyers again before the case, with all the publicity that has been made about voice notes and all that has been circulated in the Jamaican population. Whether we can find 7 jurors, because it has been reduced since then, to hear this matter and come to a verdict.
Now the defense attorneys had pointed this out from the beginning. How could the prosecution, as a matter of fact the Jamaican judicial system, ensure that Vybz Kartel and the other co-accused are given a fair trial, seeing that they never get a fair trial in the first place? Now some people are asked, what are the chances of Vybz Kartel being released? Well, keep in mind, the appeal court have to decide to do a retrial. And that was simply a recommendation made by the Privy Council, saying that once again, the Jamaican courts have the final decision. So some are calling this a win, some are not calling this a win, saying that what they wanted was for the UK Privy Council to make the final decision. Now, them decide they're going to overturn the murder conviction based on jury irregularities. Some people that say, among other things, but that are one of the main issues with them point to, the irregularities that took place with the jury. The fact that Livingston Kane was accused of trying to bribe the jury foreman who testified against him to these claims? Now talk to me in the comment section. Do you believe that the Appeal Court of Jamaica will agree to a retrial? We know this is something the DPP would want. And how we know this? Because the attorney representing the prosecution at the UK Privy Council said it himself. Say if it is the Privy Council's decision to overturn the 2014 murder conviction, they would want a retrial. So I guess this is how the Privy Council accepted the request, making that recommendation. Still up to the Jamaican Appeal Court though. But you feel like they might agree and give the DPP an opportunity to retry Vybz Kartel and his co-accused. Present back the same set of evidence them again. But this time, ensuring that a free trial is given to Vybz Kartel and his co-accused. Some people have said it's impossible. And we have yet to hear them outline how they will ensure a fair trial this time around. Now we don't know if when them say, and to the world itself, it's a retrial. It never say reappeal. So we assume, say, based on the word itself, they mean a trial, which is jury and judge. Things like the Privy Council and things like the Appeal Court is not done by a jury. The decision is not handed out by a jury. Rather, judges look over the situation and then make a decision upon that. In a trial, you are judged. A trial setting is different. And do you believe that if the case is presented again now to a jury of 12 and a judge, if certain evidence that was deemed circumstantial is excluded, if this case was presented again, do you think a not guilty verdict would be the result? And this is where the court of public opinion comes into play. Because jury or jurors are just Jamaican citizens, not people with a history in law, not people studying law, but rather the average law-abiding Jamaican citizen. So perception is key. So if you were a juror on the Vybz Kartel case, how would you look at the evidence, knowing all of what has been played out in social media and been talked about by attorneys? And for those who don't know, the conviction was based on the voice note and the text messages, which the people are saying, after being examined by overseas experts, the way them present the evidence is, and the way them say them collect the evidence, them must say them can't say how that would even be possible to collect the evidence in that manner. Defense attorneys are going to point out here, say, there was never any forensic evidence. Nothing forensics. No report where I say this something. No report where I say I clean up happen. Nothing. The witness from the statement, or the witness statement changed based on copies where the defense attorneys get. It's like something was said initially and something else was said during court. Based on all of that, what would you say as a juror? Now also, if Vybz Kartel's trial was the longest trial in Jamaican judicial history, does that mean that a lengthy trial, if a retrial is given, will be the expected duration? Seeing that them have to go over everything again. And if when them did go over it initially, this was the time where it take. Or that was the time that it took. It seemed logical to feel like it's going to take the same time again now. Taxpayer money. And the difference now is there are numerous high-profile cases before the Jamaican court. Noel Maitland, Joel and Silvera, Leota Bradshaw, just to name a few. And if a retrial does take place, Vybz Kartel and the other co-accused will have to either reassemble the dream team, the legal dream team, or create a new one. Bert Samuels is also chimed in. And so we believe it will take place. Isaac Buchanan should be going on a 2-year leave for matters. Statement said on the platform about the DPP. Does that mean he would be unable to participate in a retrial? We don't know. We have to hear from Isaac Buchanan himself where that is concerned. But the people must celebrate, and a partial victory it is, seeing that the murder conviction has been overturned, and a hearsay, and a speculation, and assumptions, and the fans of the artist have said this. This is actually the ruling from the UK Privy Council. The 2014 murder conviction has been overturned. Recommendation, however, given is that there be a retrial. And it is the decision of the Jamaican Appeal Court whether or not to do so. But they now force them. It's a for them decision. If they want to do it, or if they don't want to do it. It might be up to the prosecution to convince them that this is, the best decision. Talk to me in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe icon and then the bell icon. And of course, put it on all. And this is how you know will be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here upon the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. And tell a friend, tell them sister and them brother them for check out the channel, check out the reasoning. And also join the discussion in the comment section 24/7. It never lack it. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there. We can continue reasoning via the comment section. Now until the reason again, of course, my sentiments for you and yours. I want to live, love, and prosper. I want to stay tuned until the reason again.